Jodie Power's interview, which have given people the wrong impression about Schapelle. The Current Affair ran a show back in March last year claiming that Schapelle and Mercedes regularly dine out together, and there was photos presented as evidence that this was Schapelle and Mercedes having a meal in a restaurant in Kuta. And the fact of the matter is it was a complete fabrication. Schapelle does not get out to go and have meals with her sister. The only time she's ever been out, apart from to attend court and to go to hospital, is to go to the dentist. I think she went to the dentist one time, but she never ever gets out to eat a meal.
No, I heard that rumor today, Roy. Someone told me that today, that she gets out and she's like having a good time, and it disgusts me. It really disgusts me.
It's totally ignorant. It's totally ignorant. I mean, the way the prison systems work there. I mean, she's in prison. Okay. Now yes. I know that Indonesia does have bribery and corruption. Okay. Now I don't know exactly.
We all do. Some of it's more obvious.
Yeah. I certainly wouldn't hold it against her if she were able to, with a bit of bribery, occasionally get out. But I mean, the prisons in that country are real. They're real. They exist, and of course, what you're saying isn't going to happen. And of course, they're not going to want her to escape anyway, because if she could get out, there's a chance she could escape, and then the truth could really come out. So
the thing you have to understand that also is that Schapelle, whether she likes it or not, is a celebrity prisoner. When she moves anywhere outside that prison, the media are with her every step of the way, and not just one or two cameras, but dozens of cameras flashing away in her face. I mean, when she was brought back into the prison after her most recent stopover in hospital, she was photographed coming out of the hospital. She wasn't even advised that she was leaving the hospital, but the media was certainly told that she was leaving the hospital. And,
so which media was this, Roy? Was this local media, or was that?
This must have been the Balinese media.
Okay.
But these photos that were supposedly taken of Schapelle having a meal out, there was no evidence of guards in the photos who would have been watching her to make sure she didn't do a runner. And there wasn't this large contingency of media who would more than likely have been photographing her had she genuinely gone out to have a meal. The story was a complete and utter fabrication, and yet even today, you still hear people saying that. She gets out to have a meal whenever she feels like it.
Well, I heard it today, and it was. And I just thought, well, how is that possible? But anyway, it's a terrible situation, and people they can really help, can't they, Roy, by just an email or a letter, just some words of support. I see there's lots of websites now supporting Schapelle, so there's a bit of an internet revolution going on for her. Is that true?
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. People from all around the world have been photographed holding up free Schapelle signs, and all the clips, all the pictures were put together, and they provide the video clip for the Tara Hack song Saya Tidak Pazala that I sent you on that list.
Great, and look, we'll definitely put a lot of that stuff up on the show notes on the website. And I encourage everyone to look. Is there anything that our listeners can do? What can you encourage a listener to do to help to make a difference here?
Well, there is, of course, as John has already mentioned, the petition running for Schapelle. Now, this petition has been running for nearly 2 years. It's a Care To petition, and the signature target was 50,000 signatures. But in nearly 2 years, we've only managed to acquire about 8,000 signatures, of which less than half are Australian. Most of them are from overseas, and they do come from all over the world. If you actually go to the petition site and look back through the signatures, you find people from every corner of the world signing the petition to bring Schapelle home, and yet the number of Australian signatures is alarmingly absent, although there are, of course, some. So certainly I would encourage everyone to go to that petition site and sign away as hard as they can, and encourage all their friends to do likewise. There is also another site that the support movement has running currently, which is a letter writing campaign. I'm sure I've sent you the links to both, which has pre-prepared letters for people to basically complete and send to the Prime Minister. And of course, for overseas listeners, there is a letter for international for people who are in other countries that they can fill out and send to our Prime Minister, basically encouraging him and his government to make representation to the Indonesian government to bring Schapelle home on humanitarian grounds.
Now, yeah, why did that not happen? Because that was what I heard was going to happen at one stage. Why did that not happen? Was it the Indonesians said no?
Well, no one has actually said yes or no yet. The support movement is attempting to get Schapelle home on humanitarian grounds,
But isn't it quite common for prisoners who are in Indonesia to be transferred back to Australia? Why is that even an issue?
Well, no, it's not common because there is no prisoner transfer agreement with Australia. In fact, I don't think Indonesia has a prisoner transfer agreement with any other country.
Right. Okay. It happens with other countries, but not with Indonesia.
I don't think Indonesia has a prisoner transfer agreement with any other country.
Right. But we have prisoner transfer agreements with other countries, don't we?
But not with Indonesia.
Yes.
And the Howard government was close to finalising a prisoner transfer agreement, but then they were voted out of office.
I see.
And it is significant also that the Prime Minister of Australia, the current Prime Minister, Kevin Rudd, when he was in opposition, made quite a bit of noise about supporting Schapelle Corby and getting her home on a prisoner transfer agreement and providing all possible help for her, including, applying for a presidential pardon. But since he's become a Prime Minister, he's pretty much shown no interest in her whatsoever, despite repeated letters to him and his government by members of the Corby family and also supporters.
Right.
Just another weak populist. And Roy, you've done us a great honour of presenting during the Hard Evidence conference we're having in Sydney, www.thehardevidence.com. During the lunch break, you're going to give a short presentation to alert the 300-strong crowd of the situation there.
Yes, that's correct.
Excellent.
Thanks very much for that, mate. We're really looking forward to it for the people that want to stay back. But, half hour, we've got about an hour and 15 for lunch, so people should still have enough time to get something to eat and get back and check that out. We could only just squeeze you in because we had a full bill.
Yeah, that's fine. I'm looking forward to coming down there.
Excellent. Great. Well, look, that about wraps it up for tonight, folks. A really great honour having you with us tonight, Roy, and we'll keep talking about this. I'd like to actually get some information, maybe even do a little promotional thing that we run every now and then on the show about it, just to remind people. I might talk to you about that at some point. Look, thank you so much for coming.
My pleasure.
Yeah, and John, thanks for your expert and excellent contributions tonight as well.
We're thinking about Schapelle today, that's for sure.
We certainly are.
I think about her every day.
Good on you, mate.
Great.
I have done for the last, 5 years basically, but as I say, in the last 2 years, she's been on my mind 24/7.
Great.
Keep it up, mate. You're doing a good job.
Thanks a lot. And
thank you.
On that note, it's good night from me and good night from Truth News Australia.
Okay, good night.
Good night.